Hi, I'm Ba,
Hi, I'm Daniel.
and we challenge ourselves to make a short film in 10 weeks.
Under a 3K budget.
And it starts now.
How does it even work? So for the longest time, we've been wanting to get back into short films. We're gonna put some constraints on ourselves, which is 10 weeks, and gonna be a very, very low budget because we decided to fuck ourselves. But we still have to be practical. So it's really important to have good planning, which is what we're gonna start off with first.
So, we start with breaking down a suitable timeline first. And pre-production will take up roughly 1/3, right? So that gives us about 3 weeks. So in these 3 weeks, we will have to find actors, actresses, prep a crew, scout for location, plan shots, prep suitable gear, rehearse, I don't know, a lot of shit. But yeah, to write out a script also, of course. Yeah, I didn't forget that one.
Tentatively, I think we give ourselves 2.5 weeks for editing, and the remaining time we should have enough wiggle room for filming, right? Right?
No?
Huh? Uh-huh.
Okay. So planning even the initial idea is gonna be really tough because the timeline and budget both presents us with a few interesting challenges to solve. Yeah.
Okay, number one, no heavy VFX. Because we are not experienced with VFX, and to outsource it would take a lot of money, which we do not have.
Number 2, we have limited locations to choose from. So location permits are very expensive, and even places where they allow you to rent from are also usually quite pricey. So with our tight budget, we can only use free spaces, which means we would have to film mostly outdoors.
Or in our own houses.
That works as well.
Okay. Number 3, limited cast. Although we're probably going to be asking a lot of friends or a few friends to help out on this project, but of course we can't expect a lot of free labor. So we're going to set up. We're going to allocate a certain amount of budget to paying the cast.
It's like a token of appreciation at least. Yeah.
So which is why we also landed on 2 main characters. That's it. Because that's going to be the full cast.
No money. We are
Nothing
broke.
else. Yeah.
We are broke. We are broke.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Fourth thing to consider: limited shooting days. Other than being on a very tight timeline, right? Filming also costs quite a bit, either from gear rentals or from hiring the crew to help out, and having to feed the cast and crew on set as well. All of this adds up costs quite a bit. So with the tight budget that we are on, we have to do some extremely complicated mathematics. And after all that calculation, we have come to a grand total of 1.5 filming days. Yeah, we can
What are we
only
gonna do on the 0.5? What are we gonna do in the 0.5?
I don't know, it means half a day. Like, we can film
How do
for
you get
1.5
half
days.
out of the? Okay, never mind.
Like maybe the second day we can only film for 4 or 5 hours. We can't afford to pay them for the full day. That's how broke we are.
Last one, limited props and makeup. There's not gonna be a lot of special effects for makeup, or costume and props,
Oh, yeah.
or custom props. Because
Oh, yeah.
frankly, we are just. I mean, it's too much. It's too much.
We are just gonna have to DIY our way through.
Yeah, on this budget now.
So no
way lah.
like monsters or
No monsters, no aliens, no zombies.
you know.
It's just gonna be good old humans.
Okay.
So we have a much better idea on what our film is going to be. It has to revolve around only 2 characters, mostly outdoors, and filmed in 1 day. Oh, and no zombies.
Or spaceships.
Or, yeah, no spaceships.
And no flying vampires.
Yes, no flying vampires.
And no talking dogs.
Based on these criteria, we started brainstorming, and we go to this place called the library, which is basically the graveyard for half-written scripts. Never mind, some are not even scripts, they're just notes. Actually, some are not even notes, they're just sentences. Anyway, they're just a bunch of mishmash of ideas, concepts, and characters. Some characters are a bit more abstract, or some worlds are even more fantasy-like, and just have a bunch of different ideas in there.
And I love it so much because every time I read through it, it sparks different ideas for me. And considering our current limitations, we read through it again and again and again and again and again, and we finally came up with a story for our film. And the idea is that that is how we figured out our project requirements and planned out all the logistics and the general film structure.
And next week, we're actually going to focus on completing the script. Yeah.
So that's our idea. 9 weeks left until we make this film real. See you next week.
Bye. You need to stop cutting me off next time.
I didn't cut you off. I was just trying to give you ideas.
No.
I didn't. No.
You were
see,
just.
you are cutting me
No,
off now.
I'm
This
not.
is exactly what you're
Bro,
doing.
you need to stop
No,
it
I
already.
tell you, man, I'm just giving you ideas.
That's not ideas.
See, that's what you're doing. That is what you are doing it.
Hey,
You are doing it.
stop,
You are
ah.
cutting. You are cutting me off.
Wait.
You are cutting.
Wait,
You are cutting.
ah,
You are cutting.
eh,
Hey.